Have you ever looked at a birthday card and felt a little pang of something not quite right? You know the ones I mean. They've got a rocking chair on the front, some joke about being over the hill, and inside they talk about taking it easy and relaxing. And part of you thinks, well, that's nice, but a deeper part, a quieter part, wonders, is that really all there is from here on out? Just slowing down. It's a feeling that can sneak up on you, not in a dramatic way, but in the small moments. When a friend mentions a trip and your first thought is, oh, that sounds like too much, instead of, when do we leave? When you decide not to sign up for the community class because you're just not sure you'd have the stamina to keep up. When you realize your world has gotten just a little bit smaller, a little quieter, without you even meaning for it to happen. It's not about a major illness or a crisis. It's a slow, steady settling. A whisper that says your vibrant, active years are behind you. And I want you to know, if you've ever felt that whisper, you're not alone. So many people feel it. But I am also here to tell you, with every fiber of my being, that whisper is lying to you. What if I told you that this feeling isn't an inevitable sentence of aging? That it isn't just your body's clock winding down? What if the biggest barriers to not just living a long life, but living a vibrant, active, and powerful life well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond aren't the big scary diseases we often worry about, but for quieter, more subtle issues? These are the health thieves that work in the background, slowly and silently, and they are the reason so many people struggle to live with true vitality as they get older. The beautiful, liberating truth is that these four issues are not inevitable. They are not a life sentence. And once you know what they are and how they work, you have all the power to stop them in their tracks and reclaim the energy and joy that is your birthright. We're going to walk through this together, and it starts with understanding a fundamental shift. It's the difference between simply adding years to your life and adding life to your years. Because for decades, we've been focused on the former, avoiding the single big thing that might end our life. But what about the collective small things that chip away at the quality of that life long before it ends? That's the real conversation. And the first of these silent issues, the absolute bedrock of everything else, is something so gradual most people write it off as just getting older. They call it feeling a little weaker, or not being as strong as I used to be. But it has a real name, and it's one of the most crucial factors determining whether you live with independence and energy or with frailty and fear. It's the slow, steady loss of muscle, and it's about so much more than just strength. Imagine your body is like a beautiful, thriving village. Your muscles are the buildings, the libraries, the town halls, the power stations. They aren't just for lifting boxes or opening jars. They are active metabolic tissue. They're your body's largest reservoir for storing the sugar you eat, which keeps your blood sugar stable. They are the engine that burns calories even while you're at rest, keeping your metabolism fired up. They are the foundation that supports your skeleton, keeping your posture proud and your balance secure. Now, imagine if, year after year, a few buildings in that village were quietly, slowly dismantled. Brick by brick. You might not notice it at first. The village still functions. But after a decade or two, you start to see the effects. The power grid is less stable. The infrastructure is weaker. It takes less of a storm, a simple slip on a rug, a minor bout of flu, to cause a major problem. That is what's happening when we lose muscle mass. It's not about vanity. It's about the very infrastructure of your health being quietly eroded. We accept this as normal, but it is not our destiny. It is a process we can absolutely slow, stop, and even reverse. And getting a handle on that difference, Seeing the slow fade not as aging but as a change we can influence is the first step to taking your power back. Because once you see it clearly, what you do next becomes so much more important. And what you do next, well, it all starts with recognizing that your body's village needs the right materials to rebuild. You can't construct a sturdy building with flimsy, subpar bricks. This is where our second silent issue comes in, and it's one that's hiding in plain sight, right there on our plates. It's not about dieting or deprivation. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the kind of fuel our bodies desperately need as we get older, a quiet shift in our nutritional needs that, if we ignore it, leave that village without the tools it needs to repair and thrive. For so long, we've thought about food in terms of weight. Calories in, calories out. But what if we started thinking about food as information, as a set of instructions we are sending to ourselves every single time we eat? Are we sending instructions for growth, repair, and stable energy? Or are we sending instructions for inflammation, storage, and erratic crashes? The classic senior diet, softer foods, more carbs, easy to prepare meals, often accidentally sends all the wrong signals. It's like trying to rebuild those muscle buildings with tissue paper instead of bricks. The single most important instruction we need to send, the most crucial building material we are often missing, is protein. It's the literal brick and mortar of muscle. But here's the silent problem. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at using the protein we eat. So where a 40-year-old might get by fine on a certain amount, we need more of it in our later years to achieve the same muscle building effect. We need to consciously, deliberately prioritize it. This means reimagining your plate. Instead of a large piece of chicken with a little side of vegetables, picture a generous portion of salmon or lentils or Greek yogurt, surrounded by a beautiful array of colorful vegetables. It's a subtle flip, but a powerful one. It's choosing the Greek yogurt over the sugary cereal, adding a handful of nuts to your oatmeal, embracing eggs, enjoying a hearty bean soup. This isn't a diet. It's giving your body's village the high-quality lumber and stone it's been silently begging for, so it can stop tearing buildings down and start building them back up. Now, having all the right building materials delivered is fantastic, but the construction crews are sitting around idle, nothing gets built. This is where the third silent issue lives. The mistaken belief that rest is the same as recovery, that the key to preserving our energy is to conserve at all costs. It might seem counterintuitive, but the way to build energy is not to hoard it, but to spend it wisely. Motion is a signal that tells your body to use those beautiful proteins and nutrients, to take those bricks and start laying them into stronger walls. Without that signal, that delivery truck just drives right on by. The right kind of movement, the kind that ignites you instead of exhausts you, is the master switch. It's not about running marathons or lifting intimidating weights. It's about the simple, profound act of resistance. It's pushing against something, or pulling against something, or carrying something. It's a signal that tells your muscles, we are still needed. Stay strong. This can be as simple as rising out of a chair 10 times with control, focusing on using your legs. It can be holding onto the counter and doing a set of heel raises. It can be carrying your grocery bags in from the car instead of making 2 trips. It's about finding ways to gently challenge your strength every single day, to remind your body of its own power. This daily conversation with your muscles does more than just build tissue. It builds confidence. It reminds you that you are capable, that you are strong, that your body is not your enemy but your partner. It's amazing how this simple daily act of strength can change the rhythm of your entire day, making every other movement feel easier and more fluid. And that rhythm leads us perfectly to something we often neglect but is absolutely sacred: That's right, we're talking about rest. But I want you to think of rest not as the absence of work, but as the necessary partner to the work. It's the quiet, dark night when the construction crews actually do the building. This is our fourth silent health issue: the erosion of deep, restorative rest and the creeping presence of constant, low-grade stress. We live in a world that prizes being busy and available, and that constant hum of activity, even if it's just mental worry, can be like a foreman who never stops yelling instructions. The crews can't do their work because they never get a moment of peace. For us, this shows up as trouble sleeping through the night, waking up feeling just as tired as when we went to bed, or that background feeling of anxiety that sits on your chest like a weight. True rest is more than just sleep. It's a state where your nervous system can finally drop its guard and switch from defense to repair. It's where the growth hormone does its magic, mending muscle tissue, consolidating memories, and lowering inflammation. But this state is elusive when we're constantly bombarded. The key isn't just to try to sleep more. It's to become the guardian of your own peace. It's creating a buffer zone between the busyness of the day and the quiet of the night. Maybe it's turning off the distressing evening news and listening to soft music instead. Maybe it's spending 10 minutes sitting on the porch, just breathing, not doing anything. Maybe it's a warm bath, or writing down all the worries swirling in your head onto a piece of paper to get them out of your mind. It's about giving your body and soul the signal that it is safe to rest, that the work is done for the day, and now it is time to rebuild. This sacred space of calm is the unsung hero of vitality. It's the difference between waking up drained and waking up refreshed, ready to engage with the world. And when we are well rested, when our bodies are nourished and strong, we have the capacity for one of the most powerful energy sources of all, a source that is so often overlooked as a health strategy, but one that is perhaps the most potent medicine of all. It's the power of genuine connection and a sense of purpose. This is a final silent thief, the one that doesn't attack the body directly, but dims the light within it. Loneliness and a lack of purpose are not just feelings. They are metabolic states. They create stress, increase inflammation, and chip away at our will to do all the good things we're talking about. Why bother cooking a healthy meal if you're eating alone? Why try to get stronger if you have nowhere to go and no one to see? A sense of purpose is the spark that makes everything else meaningful. It's the reason you want to get up in the morning. It doesn't have to be a grand, world-changing mission. It can be the purpose of caring for a pet that depends on you. It can be the purpose of tending a garden and sharing its harvest with a neighbor. It can be the purpose of being the person in your family who remembers everyone's birthday and sends the cards. It can be joining a book club, volunteering an hour a week at the local library, or simply being the one who always has a kind word for the cashier at the grocery store. These connections, these small acts of purpose, are the antidote to that slow, quiet shrinking of your world. They give you a reason to stay strong, to stay sharp, to stay engaged. They are the joy that fuels the engine. So these 5 pieces, protecting your strength, fueling with purpose, moving with intention, resting deeply, and connecting with meaning, they all fit together like a beautiful puzzle, each piece supporting and strengthening the others. But a puzzle isn't finished until you put the last piece in place, and that's making it all work for your unique life. Now, bringing this all together might feel like a lot. You might be looking at these 5 interconnected ideas and thinking, how can I possibly focus on all 5 of these things at once? I can barely remember to take my vitamins. And my friend, my answer is you absolutely shouldn't. Trying to change everything at once is the fastest way to change nothing at all. The magic is in the tiny start, the single, smallest step you can take without it feeling like a burden. Forget the entire puzzle for a moment. Just find one corner piece. Maybe this week. Your entire goal is to add one scoop of Greek yogurt to your breakfast or to eat one extra egg 3 times this week. That's it. Don't change anything else. Just master that one tiny habit of adding a little more protein. And when that feels easy and automatic, like brushing your teeth, then you add the next tiny piece. Maybe it's doing one sit to stand from your kitchen chair every time you wait for the kettle to boil. One is enough. One is a victory. This is how you build a new life. Not with dramatic overhaul, but with a series of small, gentle nudges in the right direction. And of course, there will be hurdles. What if you don't like to cook? Then let's not cook. A can of wild salmon, pre-cooked rotisserie chicken, cottage cheese, pre-boiled eggs. These are all perfect no-cook solutions. What if your knees are bad? Then we work with what we have. Seated leg extensions, strengthening your arms with light cans of soup, water aerobics. Movement is infinitely adaptable. The principle is the same. Challenge your muscles safely. What if you have a bad day, a low energy week, where the old habits creep back in? This is the most important part. That is not failure. That is life. The path to vibrant health isn't a straight line going up. It's a winding road. The goal is not perfection. It is direction. On those days, your only job is compassion. Acknowledge the stumble, and then, with great kindness to yourself, simply get back to your next tiny step. Maybe that step is just drinking a glass of water. Maybe it's stepping outside for one deep breath of fresh air. That counts. You're always only one small choice away from being back on your path. This journey is not about punishment. It's about empowerment. It's about knowing that you have agency, that your choices matter, and that no matter where you're starting from, you could begin today to make your body's village stronger and more resilient. You have the map now. You know what the silent thieves are and how to guard against them. You know what to do and, more importantly, how to start small. The final ingredient, the one that makes it all stick, isn't something you do, but something you believe. That final ingredient is the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you are capable of. For so long, the cultural story has been one of decline. We're expected to slow down, to step aside, to become less. But what if you started telling yourself a new story? What if, instead of saying, "I'm too old for that," you started asking, "How could I make that possible?" This is a shift from an identity of limitation to an identity of vitality. It's about celebrating the tiny wins until they become unshakable proof of your new narrative. Did you choose an extra egg this morning? That's not just breakfast. That's you being a person who fuels your body wisely. Did you do your 2 heel raises while brushing your teeth? That's not just exercise. That's you being a person who values your strength. Every single tiny action is a vote for the person you are becoming. I want to tell you about a woman named Eleanor. Eleanor is 82. She started this journey after she fell in her garden, and while she wasn't seriously hurt, the fear of it all consumed her. Her world shrank to the size of her living room. She started with one thing, a protein shake for breakfast, because it was easy. Then she started pausing her afternoon show to stand up and sit down 5 times. That was it. But those small actions built a momentum of self-respect. She started sleeping better because she felt a sense of accomplishment. With more energy, she felt brave enough to call an old friend for a weekly walk. That connection made her want to cook a nice meal for herself. This past spring, Eleanor didn't just look at her garden from the window. She was out there planting tomatoes. She built a small raised bed so she wouldn't have to bend down. She found a way. Her story changed because she changed her story one tiny vote at a time. This is what I want for you. It's about waking up feeling hopeful, not apprehensive. It's about having the vitality to play with your grandchildren on the floor and the strength to get back up again with ease. It's about pursuing that hobby you always put off and feeling the joy of learning something new. It's about writing a new story for your later years, one filled with strength, connection, and purpose. You have everything you need to start writing that first chapter today. I would love to hear which part of this resonated most with you. Was it the idea of quieting the stress, or maybe finding a new sense of purpose? Tell me in the comments below what one tiny step you're thinking of taking first. Sharing it can make it feel more real. If this conversation felt helpful, if it gave you a new sense of hope, please give this video a like. It truly helps me reach other wonderful people like you who can benefit from this message. And if you want to join me on this journey of redefining what's possible, consider subscribing and turning on those notifications. We have so much more to explore together, all designed to help you live your very best life. Remember, my friend, your best years aren't behind you. They are right here, waiting for you to claim them. You are not getting older. You are getting ready for what's next. You are strong, you are capable, and your story is still being written. Here's to your health, your happiness, and your incredible journey ahead. I'll see you in the next one.